Welcome to week 6. So this week, your final proposal is due, and I just want to take a minute and say that I know you guys have worked so hard on them. They are looking really great. Obviously, you've gotten feedback from your peers, you've gotten feedback from me, and thank you for your patience if I haven't gotten to you yet on a particular section. But overall, they're looking really impressive. So just keep working along, and they'll be turned in as of this Sunday. If you have questions about what the final proposal should look like, please first refer to the example, the rubric and the material that's posted in Campus Cruiser, and follow those directions. And if you have questions, just send me an email. So week 6, we're going to be talking about leadership, ethics, management, and it's one of the most, every section in this class is really important. This is probably one of the most important ones because leadership styles and managing people and conflict and moving organizations forward despite all of the things that may come up is really important. So you're going to get a chance to kind of dig into your own leadership style and then think through ethical dilemmas that may take place, and then identify key attributes of leadership styles. So there are a number of readings in the Brody and Nair book, chapters 5, 6, 8, 9, and then 10, 11, and 12 are all related to ethical decision-making, leadership, supervising staff, how you manage your time, how to communicate effectively, all of that stuff. So please do those readings. Please also cite if you're going to take things from the material to reference in your post. So we have one post this week on leadership, supervision, and interpersonal skills. And there's 3 sections to this post this week. So you're going to be posting about your own leadership abilities, and there is an inventory that you can take, kind of like it's not a test or a quiz, but you'll just kind of answer some questions. It's an assessment, a questionnaire. So go through either one of those or more than one. There's 3 posted in the week 6 section. And so then your first part of your initial post is going to be to analyze your leadership ability or summarize the results that you got. So maybe you'll find out that you are an advocate, a truth seeker. Maybe you know how to move people and kind of guide people in a certain direction. Maybe you know how to handle conflicting situations with grace and ease. Maybe you can call yourself an ambassador. Again, someone that's kind of guiding people or setting an agenda of some sort. So those are the kinds of things that when you start to look at those assessments and questionnaires, you'll get a sense of that. And I want you to summarize what you find about your own leadership skills. You're going to have a high area of scoring and then a low area of scoring. And so I want you to talk about, what did you score high on? And what are the areas where it was that may reflect your weaknesses. And for some people, that could be actually taking a lead might be difficult, or motivating others might be difficult because you get frustrated really quickly. So things like that. Then I'm going to have you rank, which results are more consistent with how you see yourself and why or why not. So then the second part of your initial post for week 6 is on reflections on supervision. So this is going to be a couple paragraphs, and I want you to consider your supervisor at a current or a recent work site And then using chapter 6 as your guide in the Brody and Nair book, consider the following questions. What are the different roles that you've seen your supervisor play? To what degree has your supervisor been successful at playing each of these roles? And then assess to what extent your supervisor has practiced elements of being a good supervisor. What did they do well, and what are areas of improvement? So this is, you're tapping into your analysis skills and thinking about analyzing the performance of a current or recent supervisor. Please don't name names in your post, so I don't need that. I'm really looking for the analysis. Brody in the Brody and Nair book, they acknowledge that managers face a lot of challenges in dealing with different aspects of supervising. So you have to meet the expectations of your own superiors as a manager, but then you also have to meet the expectations of the people that are under you. Take that into consideration. Managers may be playing the role of a coach. Maybe they're playing the role of being a counselor. Maybe they're playing the role of being a judge of some sort, or a delegator of responsibility. So think through their different roles, and then, as I said, what did they do successfully? What were the elements of good supervision that they used? What was done well, and what needs some improvement? To give you a sense of what might need improvement, maybe you've had a manager that's a micromanager. So maybe they actually don't know how to delegate. Or maybe you can give me an example of a time where your supervisor could have advocated for you or for a client, but failed to do so. So things like that. The more examples you're able to give, the more thorough your post will be. So just think about that too, that give specific examples showing if you're gonna say that your supervisor was a great advocate or a poor advocate, why? What's an example? And then the last part of your discussion post is around improving communications and handling conflict. So this is going to be 2 to 3 paragraphs. I would say refer to chapter 10 in the Brody book for themes and ideas, I guess. And reflect on an experience that you or someone you know well, so it could be a friend or a coworker, has had related to one of the themes or the problems in the chapter. So maybe at some point you've had to deal with a problematic coworker. Maybe you or they didn't handle stress well. Maybe they were frustrated with not getting a raise after many, many years. So it could be any scenario. Give a brief description of the scenario. How was the situation handled? And that could be that it was handled successfully or unsuccessfully, or maybe somewhere in between. Some things were done well, but then other things could have been done differently. If it was handled, and this is where you get to the examples, if it was handled successfully, what made it so? If it was handled unsuccessfully or somewhere in between, then why? So that's your initial post. So it is a lot to think about, but it's really, really, really important aspects of leadership and supervision to think about. Then for your response post, you're going to have to just respond to at least one of your peers' posts. And remember, for weeks 6 and 7, you do not have partners or dyads and triads, so you can pick anybody. But pick someone that does not already have a response. And so read their entire post, and then your response is, have you ever faced a similar workplace circumstance that they've described in their post? And if it has been similar, in what way? If it hasn't been similar, then provide details on when you might be able to relate to the situation, even though it wasn't maybe the same. So give details about a situation give the details presented by your peer. How do you think the situation could have been handled better or the response improved? And so that will be due by the end of the week, and your final program proposal is due by the end of the week as well. So just quickly for the cumulative program proposal, the components that you've worked on individually, should be presented in a particular order. And that's clearly stated in the week 6 information. So statement of need, goals and objectives that are measurable, and SMART. Remember, go back to that SMART acronym. So if you're still kind of working on your goals and objectives, and you might be, and that's completely fine, make sure that they are simple, achievable, measurable, results-oriented, so on and so forth. Then you have your logic model. Then your description of the program, your budget, a budget narrative explaining why you are asking for this budget, and then your program evaluation section. So consistency is key. So please make sure that your final product are consistent with each other. That could mean the tone of your writing, the text of your writing. The way that you've presented tables in section 1 should be the same as section 3. So because you've done these over a span of time, just make sure that things are looking consistent. This is going to be the graded version of your assignment, this final product that you're turning in. Make sure it's a Word file as always, and again, it's due by 11:59 p.m. So if you are anticipating that not able to happen, please get in touch with me before the deadline. So by now you know that I am a bit of a stickler on the deadline, but it is for your benefit, especially with grant proposals. If you miss the deadline or you are not in line with the requirements that have been asked for you to submit, your application just doesn't get considered. So it's really important. Again, great job so far to all of you. You should be proud of your work, proud of how far you've come. Next week is week 7. So I look forward to reading your final program proposals. Please bear with me on the time. I will grade them as fast as I can. And good luck as you wrap everything up.